So Arthur, we've been working together now for about 3 months. When you first came to us, what was the problem? What made you feel like you just needed to make a change? What was the deciding moment?
Oh my gosh. I was on my third website and it wasn't working. It didn't look different. I didn't feel like I had any support. I have these companies that say they work with agents, and then you get this website, it looks the same as everybody else's, and then you can't reach them on the phone. And I was just, I was like, I'm done. And, I'd made the decision to invest pretty substantial resources at a time when the market's super challenging, but in the visual parts of it, before that, the branding parts of it, so we can build, and it just worked. And I just was scouring the internet trying to find something different.
Yeah.
And that's where I found you, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
So you've kind of answered this one already, but obviously there's a couple of really, really large players in the game. Some, do it yourself platforms, and then some, larger agencies. Was it just the relationship, just knowing you can get someone one-on-one on the phone over a text? Was that the main thing, or was it, was there anything else about these larger agencies or products that just really turned you off?
Well, I mean, there would be so many days I would just by chance go on my website and it would be dark, or a 404 page. I'm like, what is going on? And I have to email, can't call anybody, I got to email. And then I get an email back, support, we've gotten your response, we'll be in touch with you in 24 hours. Like 24 hours, my site's down, right? I need to sell properties. I mean, it's not a commerce site, thank goodness, but at least, that is us. That's our digital footprint, right? And it has to be working, right? And so that's that. And then it was just slow. Press the button, and it would be like 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. Then the page would pop up, and it'd be like, whoa, that's not good. Yeah. That was brutal. Yeah.
Great. So the nature of SEO and kind of building a brand online is inherently really, really slow. I know we're only 2 months into the official kind of SEO process, minus the development time. Was there anything significant that you actually noticed? Okay, this is working. It's not just numbers on a graph or percentages here and there. Was there a real, tangible, real life event that you said, yeah, this is definitely working?
Well, I think we know the answer to that. Yeah, we did a nice little blog on a new resort, coming into town, and it's been under development for 25 years, and it's finally, a really, really high-end new resort, and we did that blog on that. And then, I mean, within 48 hours, I've started getting phone calls, right, from people across the country. Oh, I was Googling X, and your site keeps coming up, right? So that's when I knew. I mean, for sure. I mean, I can look at graphs, and I mean, I'm gonna, we talk about it, like I want to see how many users, and that is evidence that it works, right? That's I was thrilled with that. I'm like, we got to figure out more of these. More of the things that people are looking for.
Yeah, great. That was a bit of a leading question, but
okay.
I know. So I find real estate agents are wear all the hats. At the end of the day, sometimes it's a one-man business. You have some support from the brokerage, and they're juggling a lot of things. Do you find it's a necessity to outsource digital marketing? You can say no here, of course. Do you think there's a level where maybe your sales volume or something actually genuinely warrants, fully outsourcing your search, your website, or do you think you can get by on, a little DIY project? At what level do you think it's worthwhile for all agents?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, you probably have to do DIY because it's like you have limited resources, and there are, especially if you work at a brokerage, there's all kinds of opportunities that come to you. Buy this or do this, or this advertisement or that social media thing or whatever. And I think, and I've heard this, you just have to figure out what you want to focus on, because you can't do everything. Like I've decided I'm not going to do any more print, because that's just expensive, and I just can't do that. So I'm going to focus on the social media aspects of Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and I've had really great success with that. So But yeah, I think it's at certain, I don't know what that point is, because I ask all agents I know, like, at what point did you X get, invest in this, or did you bring on a marketing person, or did you whatever? And they all have different responses, right? I mean, I feel like, if I could find somebody that can do everything and know everything about, the algorithms this way, or we should be doing this over here on SEO. I don't know if that person exists. It'd have to be a team of people. So the best thing to do, some outsourced resources that can do that and stay, that will be up to speed always on that particular channel or, initiative, whatever.
Great. Love it. Right. No more leading questions.
Well, I mean, the other thing, Ryan, I think that is really important is for you going back to your very first question, is that, I did a lot of research, right? And I was reading all about your company and you, and, I sent you that email, and then within like less than 12 hours, I think it was even less than 6, I get an email back from you. Let's jump on a video. Like, boom, we're on a video call within a few hours. And then I think within a few days, we've had 3 video calls, right? And, I don't know enough about this stuff. I don't know enough about the technology. I don't know enough about SEO. I know enough to be dangerous, right? And then, I have a very good friend that's her thing in Europe, and she's big in technology. And I said, would you call this guy and vet him? Just tell me, is this legit? And she did. You guys talked, and she called me back. She goes, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I said, okay, good to know. Good. So, maybe I lucked out. I don't know.
I think that's really important at the start. We used to work with, like, when very, very early, when I was more of a freelancer, we used to work with all kinds of businesses, home service businesses, even gyms and stuff. And it would be, 12, 24 hours, and they have a lead coming in ready to buy. So it's just something that whenever I get too busy to answer everyone directly, immediately, it's someone else that will do it instantly, 2-3 minute replies for web inquiries. I think it's probably the most important thing, just how quickly you can get someone on the phone, whether it be video call, having a conversation, even just an actual, a WhatsApp conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because that's the first indication of what the relationship's going to be going forward. Right? If the first response is 24, 48, 3 days later, it was like, this isn't going to work, right? It should be an indicator of those kind of things. So yeah, and that's a great way to decide when to scale the business. When you can't do that, it's time to scale, and you need to cover those bases, right? And that's what we did. We have a virtual assistant now, and he's fantastic. And I just keep giving him more things, and he's able to respond really quickly and keep me on task. Like marketing, we send we call it a marketing report, but every Monday we send out a report to all the the current sellers listings about all the activity that happened the previous week and that weekend, if we had open houses or showings or whatever. And I want those all to go out Monday by noon. And he's like, it's 11:59. Where's your update, right? And he's pinging me. It's like, oh damn, I got to get that. So it's good, right?
Yeah. Here's a funny one, actually. I got a cold email the other day, and then, because I remember you sent me that you got one, and you just said sure. And I was like, that's a great reply to a cold email. It's not like, yeah, I'm in, but it's also not super rude. So he cold emailed me about cold email, and I said sure. And guess what happened? The email failed to deliver. He hadn't set something up correctly. So perfect test to see if it would be worthwhile working with this guy. Clearly not.
Yeah, here I know. You said the email failed, I think is what you said.
Yeah. Like, this is his primary thing, and it just failed. I said, okay, that was a good test. I guess we won't work together. So
right, at so-and-so@gmail.com or at Yahoo. It's like, come on, get a professional email address, right? That's the other thing about realtors, it's a realtor that has a Gmail address. I mean, that doesn't really look good. That doesn't feel professional, right? So anyway, that's just a little detail.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Anything else you want to add?
I could talk for hours. No, I'm good.
Right, Arthur, I do really, really appreciate it. I know doing like a testimonial review thing is really, really weird, feeling a bit like cornered, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for hooking us up. I love it.